So in this video demonstration of the well fault, we're going to talk about adding containers or things manually within your budget. The last time we went ahead and imported Excel and CSV files, which can be found here, into the project, and then well fault did some translation. And the translation of those rows or columns within the spreadsheets turned into what I call containers. These are these frames here. Each of these frames right now are representative of a stock, such as Amazon or Google. And then there's a number of real-time inputs that can be tracked, as well as other inputs that have been brought in from your spreadsheet, and those stay within here, such as account name or size of holding and so forth. But the blue, once again, is representative of real-time things that WellFault is tracking for us. And that real-time is tracked due to it being in limited online mode, meaning that it's occasionally pinging the internet to see what the stock value is. So now that we've had all these loaded in from a file, we can also add in things as well by clicking the add plus sign. And so that's created as holding one, and we can manually enter something here. So let's say we want to add SCHD, one of my favorites. And then all you need to do is enter the amount of shares that you have. Let's say you have 80, and then everything updates accordingly. And let's say, I have this in my E-Trade account or something like that. You can put account name. You can really type anything in there. Same thing for asset name. I'll just type SCHD again, but you can type anything you want within there. And it's as easy as that. You can continue to add these as well. And once again, you can rename these. So, VOO. And then I can change the ticker name here to VOO and provide some more shares. Moving on, you have holdings. And holdings is a little bit more open-ended. Here you have a number of categories. So you can add a blank one just as we did before, or you can be very specific. So for instance, I can go ahead and pick 529 college savings. And then I can give an account name where it's at, or I can really put anything I want within here. If it's just a note, I can say, if I have a child, John's 529 in E-Trade. I can also change this as well if I wanted to. I'll just say I like 529 for college. And then I could put a balance in here. Let's say it's 8,500. And then, since this is a 529 and maybe I don't consider this part of my total portfolio value, since it's going to be going to my son, I can go ahead and click ignore and set that to on. And what's going to happen is it's going to still be considered. It's still actually going to be there. It's just going to be ignored in my total portfolio value. So moving on, let's go to liabilities. And I'm going to go ahead and dive into some of these a little bit more in depth in other videos as well. But right now I'm just showing you the very much the basics about how to add these things in manually. So here I have a number of things I've already added in here. And once again, you have this add a line, and you can pick one in here. You can pick a blank one, or you can pick one of the categories that's been set. So I'm just going to pick credit card balances. And you can change the name here. Let's say we call this Discover Card. And on my Discover Card, I have a balance of $988.50. And so now that has been considered as a liability against my budget. Okay, let's keep going. Here we have budget planning. And in this one, once again, you have a whole bunch of lines that you can add. And I like to keep track of subscriptions. So I'm going to go ahead and click on subscription. And let's change the name to Costco. And the Costco subscription is yearly. And I'll leave the dates as is. You can set those. You also have a cancel lead time in days, and I'll just leave it at 7. And then you have a way to track where it's coming from. So I'll just put www.costco.com. But you could actually put the subscription cancellation link if you looked it up as well, which would probably be useful. And I think this is $65, if I remember correctly. And another neat thing about this as well is, let's say I want to remember as I review my budget that I need to eventually cancel this. I can click at this, I need to cancel this, and it just makes a notation to it. So it's a little bit different than others. So you notice that this one here is grayed out, where this one is red. It's just noting to yourself that, hey, don't forget to cancel this. You only want to be using it maybe for this year or for this last month, and that you need to cancel it soon. So it's just to help remind you. But, there's also a lot of other things up here. You can keep track of car payments, gas and transit, shopping, childcare, and so forth. And then there's custom, where you can put anything you want within there. Okay, let's go on a daily spend. This one is pretty great. For me, I like to go to my online account and put it in every couple of weeks. I don't keep up with it every single day, although that would be great. It's not really optimal for me. But, you can come here and you can input daily, and it'll keep track of your expenses. So what you can do here is, let's say I went to Starbucks, which I did this morning, and we'll pick coffee. There's a number of categories that you can pick from in here. Coffee happens to be one of them, since that's a recurring expense for a lot of people, including myself. And then the amount. And I can't remember what my amount was exactly, so I'm just going to put in 12.50. And then I can add another one if I want. Let's say after that I went to groceries. So I went to Vons, and I'll put groceries, and I spent $34.80. Okay, and so now that is locked in to 528, and each day has various expenditures that you can attach to it. So you can go back and look at your records and see what you spent on that day. And it also comes up with things like daily average, weekly average, monthly average, and so forth. So it's just really great to keep track of, what you're spending and where you maybe can cut back as well. So let's go on to notate deductions. So within here, I'll just create one. You have a number of categories up here, but I'll just create one that is blank to start off with. And I'm just going to copy what I have down below. So I'll just say markers, and 12 piece. I'll leave it at that. And they were 610. And I'll just say from Amazon, like it is below. And one of the cool things about these is you can attach a receipt. So here I'm going to go ahead and just grab a path where the receipt is. And if I open this up, you'll see it's just a PDF, pretty simple PDF from Amazon. So I'm just going to go ahead and attach that. And then you'll see it's attached down here. You can attach a number of these and they'll list out from there. And you can take a look at it by downloading it again or removing it with the trash icon. So moving on, and a couple of these pages I'm skipping because it would take a long time for us to go over, and I want to make a dedicated video to those. So we'll get back to them in future videos. But once again, this is just quickly going over how you can manually add things into your budget. So I'm going to go to retirement estimates. Here you have 401k, so you can add within there. Okay, and this one is added down at the bottom here, and I'll just say this is Acme number 2, 401k. You can write anything you want in here, really, and then you can just write your current balance. So I just 12,333. Now, a lot of budgeting programs will connect to your live institution. That way things can be tracked that way. We don't do that because with the well vault, we like to take consideration your privacy and that you want to retain the privacy and the data on your computer. And so, we manually input everything. So this is for people that really want to go ahead and keep track of everything locally on their computer and keep any sort of syncing unavailable to the budgeting app. So there's no syncing to a live institution or anything like that. So this is one of these things where weekly or monthly you go into your accounts and you'll update these inputs to keep track of them. There's also my pension. So I can add another pension in here. Maybe that one is 1,200. Okay. And that's it. And, everything is updated and tracked in real time and provides some sort of statistics and so forth, visualizations that can be found within At a Glance. But once again, these things I'll go over in a future video. This one was just going over quickly how to add in containers manually.